Hello everybody, welcome to Science Today TV YouTube channel. Today we want to talk about creative photo techniques using night mode on the iPhone. Over the lifespan of the iPhone, the low-light photography capabilities have dramatically improved. Since that were possible to capture anything other than total darkness can now be displayed in rich detail and vivid colors using the iPhone night mode. The challenge now becomes how to leverage the full capabilities of the newest iPhone photo tech. Should you use night mode for your scene or should you use the flash? What times of the day and in what lighting conditions can you use night mode to add more depth to your photographs? How do you turn on night mode? The best thing about night mode is that it comes on automatically whenever you are shooting at night or in a low light conditions, regardless of which lens you are shooting. When your phone detects low light, the night mode moon icon appears on the top of the screen in the camera app. When the light is moderately low but not too dark, this icon will be white, indicate night mode isn't on yet, but can be activated. If you want to manually switch on night mode, tap the white night mode icon. It will then turn yellow. If the light is low enough, night mode will automatically switch on and the icon will turn yellow. The number on the night mode icon indicates the exposure time. This is the number of seconds it will take to capture the photo. For example, 3 seconds, 5 seconds or more. Tap the yellow night mode icon to bring up the exposure time slider to adjust it. The maximum exposure time will vary depending on the amount of light and how still you're holding your phone. To switch off night mode, drag the slider all the way to the left to off position. Once you've selected the exposure time, hold the iPhone perfectly still and tap the shutter button, continuing to hold it still until you see the yellow exposure time scale run out at the bottom of the screen. Prevent blurry low-light photos when using night mode on the iPhone. You'll also notice two crosshairs appears in the middle of the screen, one white and one yellow, to indicate when you are not holding the phone still enough. Be sure to watch for this and hold your phone still until the shot is complete. The steadier you hold the phone, the less blur you will have your image. Prevent overexposure and graininess in your photos. Do your iPhone night photos often turn out too bright and grainy, with shadows appearing cloudy and gray and highlights that are overly bright and lacking detail? Then your exposure settings are probably too high, or you are using flash when you should be using night mode instead. The exposure settings are vital to balancing the brightness of your photos. To change the exposure time in the camera app, tap to set focus on the subject in your scene, then swipe up to down to change the exposure setting. You'll want to set the exposure so dark areas like the sky and shadows appear black or very dark but not gray. Then be sure your bright areas have sufficient color, saturation and detail. When everything looks balanced and not cloudy, tap the shutter button. Creative photo techniques using night mode. Taking photos of sunrise and sunsets. Using night mode when taking photos when there is low level of light in the sky just before sunrise and after sunset can produce stunning levels of detail for captivating photos. You will get more color richness, more sharpness, and better color saturation in the background. When the sun is just above the horizon, you can capture the warm glow of the golden hour. When the sun dips below the horizon, the scene's color temperature will turn to the cooler blue, shifting the entire mood of the photo. Turning on night mode around sunrise and sunset is especially useful when there are clouds in the sky, which will add visual interest and inject more drama into photos. Leveraging rain for creative nighttime photos. You can snag some of the most creative shots on rainy nights by leveraging the elements with other features like street lights and windows for added interest. One method is to shoot raindrops through a window. First, find a spot where there are street lights and people walking by. Then hold the camera lens close to the glass. Tap the screen to set the focus onto the water droplets and take your shot. The result will be a beautiful depth of field effect with a kaleidoscope of color behind a crisp drop of water. You can also find beautiful colored reflections on the wet pavement or in the puddles as well. Find places with street light or neon signs to mix incredible color and detail into your low light photos. Use lights as leading lines for your scene. To create stunning composition when it's dark, find leading lines. Leading lines are what make for strong composition that pull the viewer into the scene. At night, these elements can be implemented using lights. Search for rows of street lights to use as leading lines. Compose your shot so the light lead from the foreground into the distance or toward your subject. The lights will lead the viewer's gaze deeper into the photos, conjuring a strong feeling of depth and perspective. You can also experiment with composing shots using lights on either side of the frame for a perfectly symmetrical image, or use lines of light to add patterns.